All right, Jared Sweity back with you for another video. We're going to talk today about wearing a mask while exercising. So there's very little scientific evidence that proves that masks will make a difference as far as your actual exercise goes, but a lot of people have tested it personally and have found that wearing a mask will sort of elevate the heart rate throughout the actual exercise itself, especially doing cardiovascular exercises. So it can raise the heart rate about 5 to 10 beats per minute on average. So your speeds might be lowered a little bit, especially if you're doing HIIT training. There's also another study done that it depends on the material. It depends if it gets wet. If it does get wet, and again, I guess I could backtrack a little bit, but talking about the mask is, the goal with the mask is to prevent the spread from yourself. There's actual no medical reasoning for the masks I have here for it to actually stop you from getting the virus. And there's very little evidence for that right now. It is in its infancy stage. The reason why it's in its infancy stage is because basically a lot of gyms aren't open yet, so it's hard to do an actual trial with real people, unless I guess you get them working out at home, which is again hard to control. So I mean, there's a plethora of different reasons why you can't actually get the studies done quite yet. But there is studies that are being tested right now, but they're just in its infancy stage. Another thing I want to talk about with the masks is some people speculate, and again, this is personal opinion, that the actual molecule of the coronavirus is larger than the CO2 molecule. So it's a fraction of the size apparently, so you can inhale and breathe out. So you're actually not going to get hypercapnia when you do exercise. A lot of doctors, they relate it to if they're a surgeon, them doing surgery for about 12 hours, they're not going to get hypercapnia throughout that time. So you likely won't get that, but you will find that you're not going to be getting a lot of oxygen in. And that's the thing. And when you breathe out, it just may not feel like it's going out, but likely it is. My personal opinion, I don't think that you're actually going to be inhaling a CO2. You definitely feel dizzy. You definitely feel a little bit faint. Your decision making may be affected if you happen to get that way. But I don't want to talk about today. Well, today I actually just want to do a test to see how it feels with my 3 masks. So that being said, we happen to have just your standard cloth mask. This one I picked up, if you're in Canada, from Sport Check. So most kind of sport stores will have these. It was about $4, and again, it just kind of fits right over top of the face. Again, I'm touching it all over the place, but I did sanitize my hands beforehand. And then we have just a standard medical mask. Right, this is what the surgeons use. And then we have a dust mask. So we're going to be using all of these. Also, what I want to talk about too is wearing a mask with glasses. So a lot of times people think that they're going to fog up. So we're actually going to go and wash some glasses and just use a soapy residue to keep it from fogging after that and see if it actually does any difference. And we also have an anti-fog spray that we're going to use later in the video. So I'm going to start off doing an 800-meter run on the treadmill behind me. And then afterwards, I'm going to take about 3 to 5 minute break, and then I'm going to put on one of these masks and see how it feels doing the exact same effort with that run. I'm going to see what my heart rate's like. I'm going to see how I'm feeling using the RPE scale. Okay? So let's get right to it. I'm going to start with the actual sport mask after I do my no mask run. So let's sit over here to start off with. So I'm fresh. I haven't done any exercise essentially today yet, but name of the game right now is just to get right to it and set up my watch. And I'm going to hold the same pace from this one to the next one. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, heart rate's around 150. So give me a few minutes rest, and then we use a mask. Okay, so it's been about 3-ish minutes for my recovery, so I feel almost 100% again. So now I'm going to try this mask. It's going to be at 100% cotton, so we're going to see how we do. And again, you always want to play with the straps for this one. So I got to pull it down a little bit. How's that look? Smells fresh. I did wash this. All right. So 800 meters is a bit of a stretch to do that over and over again. So I'm just going to do 400 meters instead. So one full lap around at the same speed that I held from that previous one to see where my heart rate's at and see how I feel breathing. So here we go, round 2, 400 meters. You see that? So I'm just sucking it as much as I can. So the heart rate wasn't as high as it was before. This thing may not be as super accurate though as I'd like it to be. Feeling though, I think it was more annoying having that mask on because as you can see, it was just, my nose is just sucking it in. If I was breathing through my mouth at all, if I needed to, it would go right to my mouth. Other than that, energy felt the same near the end. It kind of felt a little bit tough compared to the first one, but overall it's just annoying. It was just in and out kind of thing. So we'll give it a few minutes here and then we'll try the medical mask after that. Okay, so trial with the cotton mask is done. I just felt like I was breathing in cotton mask. Now I got the medical one I'm going to put on. Same thing. Same speed, same distance, all that stuff. Let's do it. So no fan either. Same as before. Okay, this thing keeps jumping up and down. So that felt hotter. My heart rate was a little higher in that one, maybe because of overall heat. It didn't annoy me as much. I didn't feel it go in and out, but yeah, it did feel a little more warm, I guess. Because the first one I used, that was like a t-shirt, 100% cotton. So a little more medical grade to that one. So yeah, we'll give it a rest. We'll test out the dust mask after that. See you in a few. So we're gonna be doing with the dust mask. So we're making sure no dust gets in there. This is nicely secured around the back of our head. Be sure to try and touch the front of the mask with this one. I actually put it the other way. Blooper reel. All right, now it's time to test out the dust mask. Okay, so this again will most likely prevent you from spreading it to other people, which is just as important as you not getting it as well. So if everyone is using a mask, it'll help prevent it from you getting it too. So, final test. Dust mask, we'll see how we do. That wasn't that fun. Heart rate seems to be lower, but depends on your accuracy of your heart, your monitor. So that one was hot. That one felt that the air just couldn't escape and wasn't getting much in either. So that was interesting. One of the things that there used to be these masks that people use, or they probably still do, they would call them elevation training. So what it would be a restriction of air going into your lungs, going into your system. It's basically like putting a pillow over top of your face. I'm not saying that these are like that, but some of them can really restrict the airflow. They believe it has the same effects as doing like elevation training, which actually isn't the case, because elevation training, as you go higher up, you have less oxygen molecules in the air. Here it's just not allowing more of them to get into your system. So what it'll actually do, and I'm saying this because the last one kind of felt like that, the dust mask. It'll actually strengthen up your diaphragm. But if we're talking performance, there's been some studies showing that it actually does not increase your VO2 mask or your endurance or your longevity on the treadmill. So that being said, I mean, the medical mask to me was probably my favorite just because it didn't bother me as much. It got a little hot, but I would say what I would wear next would most likely be this one again. Now, I know it's a pain because you got to toss these out. You should wash your mask. There are some studies done, I believe, by the National American Sports Science Medical Clinic. I think they recommend that you wash it every single workout, or even after half an hour of vigorous exercise, interval training. You do give it a wash, because as it gets wet, right, it kind of seeps through those walls as it gets damp. So it is good to wash it right after that's done. Now, what we're going to test is we're going to test glasses, because a lot of people, they want to wear either the face shield or they want to wear glasses to protect their eyes from the spread. So we'll catch up with you in a bit. We're going to go to the bathroom and then we're going to wash out the glasses. All right, we are back. I look a little bit different because I'm wearing my glasses. We're going to give them a wash here. So there are some studies that are done that if you do wash them and leave the soapy residue in here, then and let them dry for a little bit, it actually will prevent it from, I guess, getting the moisture in there. We're going to try it out. Science aside, opinion aside, we'll just see what happens with the soap. So again, you don't want to rinse them off. You want to keep that residue on the glasses. So we'll give it about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll see how they go. Okay, so it's going to be interesting. We still have some soapy residue happening there. It's been about 10 minutes, so I would say it's dry enough. So I'm going to get this mask on. This is the one that I enjoyed the most when I was working out. Surprisingly, I thought the cotton one would win, but there we go. So mask on, I have a little bit higher than usual just because that's proven to not have it fog up as much. And now we've got the specs on. Yeah, and you know what? It's already starting to fog up right now. Let's see how we go when we're heavy breathing. All right, I'm going to do 200 meters instead. Okay. Yeah, they're pretty fogged still. So maybe I wasn't using the right soap material or whatever, but didn't really specify. It actually looks quite a lot more foggy than it maybe normally would be. It's just staying like that. So maybe debunked, maybe not. Now we're going to use some anti-fog spray that hockey players use for their visors, since it is NHL playoff time. So we wiped off all of the soap residue. Now I have his Elite Hockey Pro Clear. This is about $7 if you're in Canada. Again, Canadian Tire has them. Sport Chek should have them too. But Sport Chek, the last time I checked, they were sold out. So Sport Chek usually is the best bet. So you spray them on the surface area that you want to use it on, and then just wipe it away with a nice clean microcloth or anything else that's not gonna clean it. Okay, so that's on there now. Let's see how we do. We got the Pro Clear on now, so same masks I used before. We'll see how we do. So far, not much. Let's do the same distance. I'm doing 200 meters here instead. Pinch it down so it hits it. Let's try it out. So as you can see, still a good level of fog on there. It is disappearing faster than the soap residue. So slightly greater effect than before, but still, if you can manage it, if you're running inside, usually that's the place where you want to wear a mask. So if you're inside, you're generally on a treadmill. So you might be okay just taking off the glasses, as I kind of can conclude. But we give it a shot. You can try for yourself to see if it does work. That may be more of an effect for actual shields, so actual visors and everything. But that's our test today. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching it. And hopefully we won't have to wear these too much longer. Take it easy, guys.